Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be chatting with you guys about kind of like an update on our lives after living in our camper for about a month so far. So I'm also going to just be sharing some of the adjustments, how we've adapted to a lot of these changes of living, tiny. And then also I'm gonna just ask the kids their thoughts on, what they like, what they dislike, and some of the favorite things that we've done so far. Having lived in our camper for a month. So I know my kids tend to get like camera shy and not be able to formulate thoughts when they're in front of a camera. So I'm also going to be just kind of reiterating some of the things that we have heard them say over the past month of things that they like, things that they don't like, because I know when push comes to shove, they are not going to remember these things that they have said, here and there through, this time. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started, share just kind of the big things that we have thought of that have been major adjustments for us. And then kind of like, there's always two sides to a coin, right? So we have these adjustments, but we've also had ways that we've coped with them, or, ways that they kind of become positive in a way. So I'm going to be sharing those and just kind of going over them real quick. And then I'll end with a little segment where I'm going to interview each of the kids and ask them their thoughts on this lifestyle. So first things first, one of the biggest adjustments was having no friends and no family with us. We would love to create a caravan of family and friends who would love to travel full time with us so that they're always near and they're always available for, our kids to have friends available. So we have friends and family available. Unfortunately, that's just not how it's working out. So that has been a major adjustment, especially after the summer where we spent the entire summer living on my parents' farm, and they had grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins and everything around and available to them. That was a hard transition. Even for Joel and I, we left and we got down here, and there was a bit of shock to us as to how difficult it actually was to leave, because we had really enjoyed the summer. It was very low key. We spent a lot of time with family, not doing a whole lot. We didn't actually, we normally take a family vacation over the summer, but because of everything we were preparing for, we actually didn't. We just spent a lot of time with family and friends, over the summer, and it was a great summer, and we really struggled when we left. We have since recovered. Being in a really nice location near the beach always helps, but honestly, that's probably the number one thing and adjustment that we've had to kind of combat in living away from everyone. We picked up and we moved states away, albeit it is temporary, but it is difficult to not have a support system near you where you're going somewhere and absolutely no one. So how have we kind of dealt with this? One, we spend a lot of time doing FaceTime, a lot of text messages, a lot of phone calls with those friends and family, making sure that we are still staying in contact with them, not wanting to lose those connections, and being able to stay caught up with what everyone is doing. I will say you do have to definitely be intentional about it. You can't just expect to know what's going on. You actually do have to reach out. You have to send a text message or make a phone call or whatever, social media or however you're going to use it to stay connected. I'm using my, I shared in a previous video of like some really fun things that I like. So I think they were like spring faves or summer faves. And one of them was a connection box of 52 cards where it kind of helps you be intentional about sending snail mail to friends and family. So I brought those along with me so that I'm able to send those as well. Just, whoever the Lord's laying on my heart, sending them some snail mail. Everyone likes to find something in the mailbox every once in a while. So that has been nice as well as a way to just kind of stay together. The kids use FaceTime to stay in touch with friends and family and cousins. So they're using FaceTime. They also send postcards. So when we've gone to a new park or a new place, they're grabbing postcards and are able to send those. Counts as school because that's writing. So we're, checking off 2 boxes at one time. Some other ways that we do, as far as friends, we are utilizing the campground. So while we have not come across anyone who is a full-time family, they're, more weekend warriors who are coming and going. So the people are changing frequently. They have found with the activities at the campground or at the beach that they can easily make a friend if, they want to, or if it's available to them. So they're, you know, trying and learning how to make friends quickly and to be a little bit more outgoing. I will say I am extremely introverted, and unfortunately some of my kids have gotten that. I don't want to say unfortunately, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but when it comes to making friends, it can be more difficult if you are introverted, and some of the kids did inherit that trait from me. So it's a little bit more difficult for some of my kids. Even though they would like to have some friends, it's a little bit more challenging for them to step out of their comfort zone and make a friend with a stranger. So still trying, still working on that, but that's a work in progress. So another thing that our kids have had to adapt to is not having the amount of toys that they had available to them in a sticks and bricks. So they did have to downsize what they could bring with them, and you know, we got rid of a lot of things. So they brought their favorite things, and we have some storage and some tubs for them in our kid hauler. You know, it's not a toy hauler, we're not hauling toys, we're hauling kids. So in our kid hauler, they each have some bins that are specialized just for them, that they can keep their toys, their favorite things. So those they have available. And you know, in addition, the way that they're playing is kind of changing. So, you know, our goal was to always chase the sun. So if we're chasing the sun in good weather, the goal is to really be outside. So we are trying to utilize the availability of having nicer weather. It's October and it's 70s and 80s. So at every opportunity, I'm pushing the kids outside. We're going to the beach, we're going to the pool, we're finding a park to go hiking, to go sightseeing, you know, even just walking around the campground, getting on bikes, getting on scooters. At any possible moment, I'm trying to get the kids outside enjoying this weather. That was one of the things we wanted to do. We wanted to escape the dreary fall and winter of Ohio. We wanted sunny skies and warm weather. So that really has kind of replaced it. We're just trying to spend more time outside. Now, we do have some gloomy days, some rainy days. We have had, actually had a really bad storm one day that kind of terrified some of the kids. But, you know, during those days, we do have some things that we're doing inside. I did bring a bin full of books. We do have another bin that's full of like craft supplies, lots of those coloring books that are, you know, they're really fine, like pictures of animals and like crazy designs where every little, you know, space you're coloring in a different color. So they use those a lot for like read aloud time or just quiet time, where, you know, it's just keeping their hands busy, but they can listen. So they have really come up with enjoying coloring and just drawing. So in preparation for going full time, we did managed to get each of the kids an iPad, one to be used for school purposes, so they have some of their school things on their iPad, but also so that we can get some pictures of whatever they want. The boys are always about NASCAR, so their favorite NASCAR drivers and favorite NASCAR cars and different kinds of cars, and we can take screenshots of them, put them in a folder for them so that they can go during that time, grab some printer paper, grab some pencils and colored pencils, and do a lot of drawing. So we spend a lot of time drawing. So that's an easy one to be able to bring. We can bring some art supplies with us. And then lastly, I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with electronics, but my kids love them. Okay, it's more of a hate relationship. I don't like them, video games and, you know, whatnot, but they do love them. So we are one of those families that does allow video games, which is great if you do and great if you don't, to each his own, you know, what works for you. But my kids do love video games. And so on the rainy days and on days when we don't have a lot going on, or we just kind of need more of a low-key chill day, we do allow the kids to play some video games. So they can play some games on their iPad, or we do have a PlayStation or something like that that they play on. So that's pretty much all that they have. The boys have cars. Eden has some Calico Critters and Barbie things, little things that we could put easily into a bin, and then their iPads and drawing stuff. And then they do have their bikes and scooters that always stay outside, and obviously always trying to push them toward those activities rather than being cooped up in. We wanted to do this to sightsee and to be outside. All right, one of the next adjustments is a lack of space. Obviously, when you're condensing from 2,400 square feet down to 450 square feet, you have to get rid of a lot of stuff, and the amount of space just shrinks. So, you know, a lot of people I've heard, you know, in passing, like, your kids don't have their own room and they don't have a space to go to when they want to be by themselves. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there that my kids were never by themselves and were rarely ever in their room. So in our home, the only two boys that shared a room were the middle two. So Ezra and Isaiah shared a room. They had the biggest kids room, but they shared it. Eden and Gabriel had their own room. They rarely were in their room by themselves. Our family has always been homeschooled, and so we have grown to this idea that we're always together. They had an entire basement where we had like a workout area for Joel and I, and then the rest of the area was kids' toys. And they would take those toys up from the basement and bring them into the main living area and want to play where we were. And that's just kind of the dynamic that our family had developed. Like, they wanted to be near each other. They didn't want to be by themselves. Honestly, if they found themselves by themselves, they would leave and come and find everyone. We were just together all the time. And I think that's one of the reasons why this does not feel like a major shock to me and to Joel. So one, Joel still leaves and goes to work. He does not have a home office that he's working at in the camper. I think that would maybe change a little bit of the dynamics. He still leaves, but I've always stayed home with the kids. I have always homeschooled them. So they've never left me for other than weekend trips or visiting grandparents. So that's not a big shock to me. I'm used to really not having any major space or alone time. Now, don't get me wrong, I do need some breaks, small breaks here and there throughout the day. And just like we did in the Sticks and Bricks, I have a quiet time. So during this quiet time, you need to go read quietly. You need to color. You need to entertain yourself without being around me. Or if it's really nice outside and they're nitpicking each other, driving me bonkers, I just send them outside. You guys need to go play outside. Find something to do. Draw something with chalk on the ground outside. Go ride your bikes. Go ride your scooters. Whatever it is, find something to do that is not near me. Now, the kids here and there have made comments about, oh my goodness, this room's so messy. Oh, this is so cluttered. There's no place to put this. There's no place to put that. And they are pretty much by and large true. When you have a small space, the small space gets cluttered and it gets cluttered fast. So we have found that we actually do have to clean up and declutter every single night. So that is, not necessarily a bad thing to have to do. Honestly, we probably should have done that more often in our Sticks and Bricks, but you have to do that every day. Now, the benefit of this is that we do have a small space, so it's really not that big of a deal because it's going to take us 15 minutes tops to clean this entire place. Everything has a place to go, and so when you see it out of place, it's got to go somewhere. That's kind of been one of the challenges of our first assignment. We did not make a lot of changes before leaving and kind of starting out because we actually thought, we need to live in it and figure out, okay, what would be the best way to use this space? We've got this nook, this cranny here. We want to use it and maximize its potential, but how do we do that and what should go there? And that's kind of what this whole first assignment has been about, is living in it and saying, okay, definitely do not want this, or I really think something would be great here, and kind of thinking through all of these ideas to figure out, okay, what are the changes that we do want to make that make the most sense to utilize this space in the best possible way. At one point too, the kids mentioned that we did not have any more co-ops. So I know this kind of goes hand in hand with the friends aspect because we were involved in 2 co-ops before. And it was great to see all of our friends. I mean, once we were at the co-ops, they were great. And I loved being near and, having other moms with us and seeing all of our friends. But at the same time, this has been kind of freeing because I don't have any more responsibilities that for homeschooling purposes, to other kids. I am just solely focused on our own homeschool and what my kids need to know and what my kids need to do. And so, while I miss them, we did them for 7 years. We did 2 of them for 7 years. And it has just been kind of freeing to know that I just need to get our stuff done throughout this week. I don't need to plan. I don't need to teach. I don't need to have things ready or need to, try and cram in our school week in a smaller week because we're going here or going there for different things. Now, how have we replaced it? Well, we're traveling. So our co-op has been more of like field trips. So we're checking out and seeing all the different places that we can go and visit. We're near the beach, so we're studying the ocean life and sea life and tides and all the creatures that we find on the beach. When we are at different places, we're going and seeing if there's anything historical available and going and seeing those. State parks, national parks, those are going to be where we're going. We're going to use our field trips to kind of take the place of where we would have had a co-op. So Joel works 4/10s, at least in this assignment, and we're scheduling our day according to his work week. So we're only doing school for 4 days a week. We do everything that we need to do on the days that he's at work, and then we take his day off as well, and we go and explore whatever we have. We created a big bucket list for our area, and we're just checking things off as much as we can. All right, the next few adjustments that we've had kind of more pertain to Joel and I. So the first one, actually this one just pertains to me, is the laundromat. So we have a laundry hookup. We don't have a washer dryer combo yet. Just kind of wanted to see how that would work, and I've definitely decided I need to have one in here. When you have 4 kids who go through clothes so quickly, I really do feel like having an onboard laundry washer and dryer is going to be like key. So I have tried to maximize my time at the laundromat, save as much as I can, and try and get it done in 1, maybe 2 days a week. Now, I will say there is the added benefit that our campground has a laundromat, so I'm not going far. I don't have to drive somewhere and make a special trip. That is nice. But it's also expensive. When you're paying $2 per wash per dry, it does start to add up. So definitely going to be looking to add a washer dryer combo in our unit. That is on our list. So that is an adjustment, because when you're living in a sticks and bricks and you have a washer and dryer in your home, okay, first world problem, I know. But when we are used to having a washer and dryer in our home, and you can throw, you get a stain on a shirt, or if someone has an accident or whatever you need to do, you just go and you immediately throw it in. And at $2 a pop, you're just not doing that. So I will say it's just been an adjustment, something that we've kind of had to work toward or work around. And, we're managing. It's not the end of the world. I still consider myself blessed that I have it close and I can still do our laundry, and it's really not a big deal. We've just been very cognizant of trying to keep our clothes clean. If we didn't do much and the clothes are still clean, you can still wear them. I've really come to the terms with it's okay to rewear your clothes if they're not dirty. All right, the next one has to do with cooking and doing dishes. So our kitchen is obviously a little bit smaller. We do have a pretty good sized fridge. Microwave is the same, but we don't have a dishwasher. Guys, we don't have a dishwasher, and that's huge. So we are hand washing every single dish. I usually am doing the majority of the dishes. Joel helps, maybe every couple of evenings, he'll be the one to kind of clean up in the evening. It's not ideal. I wouldn't choose to wash the dishes, but in this lifestyle, would I choose to have this lifestyle and still do my dishes? Yes. At least for now. Maybe ask me in a couple of years if we're still doing this. It is okay. I manage. I usually use that as my time to listen to an audiobook or podcast, because you can't do a whole lot, but your hands are busy. So I'm usually listening to something on, audiobook or whatever is most recent. So I use that as that time. The oven is tiny. It's about the size of a microwave. And it is taking some adapting to get used to it as well. I like to tease and say it's a glorified easy bake oven, because you just really never know how long it's going to take to cook something. And we've really only made some, just playing around with it, made some cookies and treats in it. I think that's all we've made. I'm gonna step up my game this week. I'm gonna try and make a lasagna in it, and we're gonna see. It might take all day to cook it, but we're gonna find out, and I'm gonna give it a whirl. Oh, and the other thing about dishes, and please don't give me a hard time about it. I know we're, increasing our carbon footprint, but we do use paper products. Not for every meal, but try to offset it. Usually one meal a day where we're using paper plates, because that's for my sanity. So we do have some compromises. The last adjustments really have to do with our location. So, when you are constantly moving and having to find a new place, you have to kind of find like your places, right? Where you're going to go get groceries, where are you going to go get gas, where are you going to go to church? All of that has been a major adjustment. When we lived in our previous place, we were frequenting the same places for over 10 years. And so going to a new place and finding a new church, being the new people when you haven't been the new people in a really long time, it's kind of intimidating. It's really been just kind of dealing with that unfamiliarity of a new area and trying to become familiar. Like, we finally have gotten to a point where we don't need our GPS every time we're going to go to the store, go to the beach, or go to church, do those things that you normally need to. And that just that's a weird feeling when you're going to go get your groceries and you feel like you constantly have to use a GPS. So just like weird little things about your location. So we're finally starting to feel like, okay, I know at least where I am and how to get to, the places that we need to frequently go. But on the flip side, location was one of the big, huge reasons, why we want to do this. We wanted to see this beautiful country that God has created, see all the different things, expose our kids to different areas, different people, all the different things that, are here and available for us. So, again, like I said earlier, there are two sides to every coin. There are pros and cons. And so it's just kind of working and muddling through all of this. It's been kind of, like I said, an adventure, and we're just figuring it out one mistake at a time. So now what I want to do is I want to just ask some very basic questions to the kids, what they like, what they don't like, what the favorite thing that we have done so far has been. So I'm going to go grab them, ask them individually. I did tell them ahead of time, but guys, my kids just, you never know what they're going to say. So we'll see. And here we have Eden, and she's going to answer just a few questions just about her thoughts on our living in the camper. So first things first, Eden, what do you like the most about living in the camper?
Going to the park.
The park? So like at the campground or the different parks that we're around?
Yeah, the different parks that we're around.
Okay. And what do you like the least? What's not your favorite part of living in the camper? Not going to the park. Do you miss anything about living in our old house? Do you miss anything?
I'm still thinking.
What? Oh, you're still thinking.
Don't have a big porch.
We don't have a big porch. So we have a little bit of a porch on our toy hauler that will fold down. Again, we always have the patio that we can walk out onto, but we don't. We had a really, really big porch in our old house. So she misses our old porch. Is there anything else that you missed? No? Let's see. What is your favorite thing that we have done so far? Take anything. What do you miss, or what was your favorite thing that we've done so far? Stop it. What's your favorite thing we've done so far?
Go to the pool.
Go to the pool and the park. What about the beach?
Kind of fun.
Kind of fun. You didn't want to leave today. She's got beach hair today. So you like going to the pool and to the parks? Yep. All right. Anything else you want to say about living in a camper?
Nope.
Nope. All right. She's dead. All right. Now we have Ezra, and I'm going to ask him the same 3 questions. So let's see. What is your favorite thing about living in the camper?
That we can move always with our camper.
Yeah, we can go to lots of different places, see lots of different stuff. All right. What is your least favorite thing about living in the camper? Is there anything that you miss that we can't do or don't have in the camper?
Granny and Pappy.
You miss Granny and Pappy and just family in general? Yeah. Missing family is hard. That is one of the downfalls. Family and friends are hard. Okay. Anything else? No? What is your favorite thing that we've done so far?
Either mini golf, either going to the beach.
Mini golf or going to the beach. We have been to the beach a lot, haven't we? It's pretty fun. All right. All right, that's it. Is there anything else you want to share about living in the camper? You're covered in sand. So we did go to the beach earlier today, and he's got sand all over his face. Yes, you do. I can see it right here. All right. Anything else you want to share? Okay. And now we're going to ask the questions with Isaiah. So first things, what do you like most about living in the camper?
You can take it different places because you can't do it with a regular house.
That's right. So our old sticks and bricks house, it was only in one location. We couldn't take it anywhere else. But with our camper, we can go to lots of different locations. Currently only in one because of the nature of Joel's job, but we know that we're going to go to lots of other places after this. All right. What don't you like about living in a camper?
We don't get to see all of our friends.
Yeah. I had a feeling this would be his as well. The older two had kind of established some really good friendships back in Ohio, so I knew that that was probably going to be one of the more difficult things of this adventure. So yeah, missing friends is a hard one. Anything else that you miss or don't like about living in a camper?
Not really.
No? All right. Well, that works. What is your favorite thing that we have done so far? You have, oh, sorry. I didn't mean to
Going to the beach?
You have sand all over you. They're all covered in sand. Yes, going to the beach as evidenced by the sand that you brought home with you. Going to the beach. Anything else?
Going to the pool?
Going to the pool. So the campground has a pool, so it's nice to be able to go to the pool as well on the afternoon once we finish with our schoolwork. We can just head over to the pool, and even better that it's in October and we can still do those things. So we are counting our blessings with the nice weather right now. Anything else you want to share? No. All right, thanks. All right, now we have Gabriel, and so we'll ask him the same 3 questions. You have sand on your face too from the beach. All right. All right, what do you like about living in a camper?
We can go to the beach.
We can go to the beach. Anything else?
We can live at Granny and Pappy's.
So we do have the ability that when we want to be back in Ohio, we have property that we're able to put our camper on. So that is nice and convenient to be able to have that as an option, to be able to go home. Anything else that you like about it?
We have a TV in our room.
They have a TV in their room. They don't use it very often, but they have a TV in their room. All right. They were not allowed to have a TV in their room prior to. Let's see. Okay. So what don't you like about living in the camper?
I can't see my friends.
Can't see your friends. I had a feeling that that was going to hit him the hardest. He has a couple good buddies that we had back in Ohio that he isn't able to see as frequently. So we try to make some adjustments to how we catch up with him and get to see and talk to him. All right, anything else you don't like?
not a lot of storage.
Not a lot of storage, so they had to condense all the things that they brought. Clothes, toys, books, all the stuff. We all had to make some adjustments in what we kept, what were our favorite things, and what was able to come with us. All right, favorite thing that we have done so far. What are you doing? Stop. You've got sand. I realize you've got sand on your face.
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach. Anything else?
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach. Pretty good location for our first assignment is to be near the beach because it gives us endless amount of entertainment. So, all right, anything else you want to share? Nope. All right, my strong and silent one right here doesn't have much to share. All right, thanks. All right, guys, so that's the update. That's kind of how we are adjusting to this life of living in a camper, living tiny, the big things that we're struggling with right now, or, you know, not struggling, but like working out. And so I just wanted to share that. If you guys have any questions, as always, I would love to answer them for you. And until next time, guys, have a blessed day.